Hey there, welcome to day 72 of playing chess every day into our reach 1500 Elo. Currently we're at 1208, a new high after a win on the previous day. I wasn't able to play yesterday because I was having some computer issues, um, but today we're all good. So let's go ahead and start this game. We got white against a 1224 from Indonesia, I believe. Then here. So he sees we have the London and he immediately goes for c5. We can play c3. We'll probably go queen b6 in a second. Here, if he pushes here, I go here. If he goes here, I can take. No, but then he can take. So I think I want to get my knight out so that we avoid that issue where I could end up getting the rook trapped. I think, or actually, if we have bishop out, it goes here, here. No, but that's a fork actually. Yeah, let's do knight out. I was imagining if the queen is here and the bishop is here, that could be a problem. Because I'm anticipating queen b6, which typically you play queen b3 to block this attack and try to get the. Oh, he goes ahead and takes. Okay, so we're gonna take right there with the e pawn. Now I don't think that same idea is as much of a concern because he can't push to c4. Let's see where he goes with now. So now that the e file is open, I want to get my pieces developed and then quickly get the rook on the e file. We'll probably get the knight out next. Okay, he does go for that anyway. But yeah, I think with this, I guess he has here and then here. But then I just go back and his knight's not in a good square. Actually, yeah, no, never mind, because I was worried about this for a second. I guess if he goes here first, then he's cutting this off. Can't go here right away. If I have to, I'll just take. If I'm forced to, like if he is able to get here and cut off all the squares and then bring the knight here or something. No, but if the knight goes there, I have the check actually. So I think that probably solves the issue. It goes all the way back. It's a weird move. Don't see that very often. I have the option to get the bishop out here. Immediately pin the knight. If this bishop comes out at all, take here. I'll probably just get knight out. I want to go here. If here, here, take. I don't think I get anything from that. Here, back. Not sure. Let's just develop the knight first. Just keep it simple. Guess I could also go here, defend the knight, and prepare to go here. Then we have 2 attackers. He's able to go here or here to defend. Then I can bring this knight in. He moves his bishop right away, so I'm able to take this. If he goes here, then I take the knight. So yeah, I think I'm fine. And I take the knight with check. Then if he goes here, probably drop back here. Rook can take, but I would have won the knight though. So we'd be up a lot. But let's take. Up a pawn and the knight is under threat. Okay, but once I go here, you lose your knight though. Because typically when you get checked here, you can drop the knight back to c6, and you have a pawn defending it, but he doesn't have the pawn defending it, so I think his knight is going to be gone, right? He can block here, and then I just take the knight. So, yeah, I think he lost his knight, right? Oh wait, no, never mind. The queen is covering the knight, which I failed to see somehow. But, okay, he blocks with that knight. Is there anything I can do that? I can't go here because the queen's already on this square. Yeah, that took me a long time just to notice that the queen was guarding the knight. I thought I was going to be up so much material. But I feel like there should still be something here. Maybe not. His pieces are just not good right now, though. This bishop is blocked in. This one is just covering the pawn. The knight's on the edge, so there has to be more we can get out of this. Go here. We're double attacking the knight. Not threatening a fourth here. Good way to remove the queen. Actually, yeah, because if I take the knight, the queen has to take. And then once the queen takes, I can take. So let's. Can't do anything there. Yeah, I think I'm just going to bring the knight out here. Okay. Yeah, I think we're going to be able to win the piece, right? Take here. Because he can't take this. Oh, never mind. He can take it back with the bishop. I keep missing kind of obvious stuff that's covered. Dang it. My tactics are not quite getting me where I thought they would be. So now I think I'll just come back to here. His position is still not very good, but I'm still up a pawn at least. Go here. Is there anywhere else I should go? I could go here, but I don't think that does anything for me. Let's just go back and centralize this. Oh wait, actually no, I can just take the pawn, because he was forced to take back this one. Because if he took here, then I would have won the knight. But he had to take like that, so now I can win this. And let's just be careful about a discovered attack. So he doesn't have any checks. Because I would be concerned about if he had like a check here and then he could win my queen. But there's nothing like that, I don't think. So let's just take here. Okay, and we're up material, so I think I'm good to just trade. It still seems like there almost could be more tactics that could come from this. Take. Okay, I could go here. It pins the bishop, so he can't take, and it's double attacking it. The bishop is defended by the knight. If he takes, I take with check again. This time he doesn't have a way to block. If he blocks with the queen, I take the knight. If he comes over, then he can't castle. So that idea seems interesting. But if he just defends... Yeah, no, because he can... Yeah, he can defend it once. Take. And then I don't think I get anything from it. If he just defends it. So I think I'll just do the trade. But I'm really interested in this idea, but I don't think it quite works for me. Oh yeah, and plus he can just take the queen, so never mind. I feel like I'm noticing things very slowly today. But at least I think we're still figuring it out, but it's just taking a while to see some stuff. Because I didn't play yesterday. I just did a couple puzzles because my computer wasn't working. Okay, let's just keep it simple. We're up material. And now let's just, I can't develop this yet because that is covered. So let's, how do I want to do that? Probably just go here. First, to prepare, bring my bishop out. Is there any threats I can create immediately? Don't have this fork, because it's not covered. So yeah, let's just go here. I like that I'm also still covering the b8 square, so the rook can't go there. So this knight is almost like in some trouble here. If I go here, this square is blocked off. He can't go here, he can't go here. But he only has this square. He only has b7. Stay on this diagonal. Because I like the fact that I'm covering this. If I go here, my bishop becomes quite a bit more passive. If I go here and he goes here to try to trap it, probably just push this. And then tuck away on h2. Let's go back. Okay. Push this one instead. So same thing, I would get trapped either way, so let's go here, but if he pushes this, are there any issues there? So I think it's nothing too concerning. Oh wait, also I wasn't going to get trapped because I had this square anyway, but I'd rather stay on this diagonal, so I think making this little opening is preferred. Actually, now he gave me this nice little square here. I think I'll take that, actually. Example on this rook. Go here, but then I allow him to trade off his bad knight. Because I want to attack this pawn. I think I'll go here. I should need to jump back. Then I can go here. You might have to use the king to protect that, or bring the bishop back here and make it more passive again. And then I can try to get my rooks activated. Could also just like push this pawn. No, because that could activate his rook. Let's try this. So I have this threat, but it's not really much of a threat. You can hop away, or it's, I mean, I would just be giving up my bishop for his knight. Probably doesn't do too much. So push this. This square. Go here, I could just try to get trades. I think he would come here. So then I would be able to force a trade, I think. Force the bishops off, knight comes in. I think I like that. But it does allow the knight to come back. Only to the edge though, so it's not really a worry. So here, here, here. If he moves the bishop, we win the pawn. So he's going to need to take. We take back with the knight. And then we have a pretty good looking position. Then maybe I could actually move the bishop here and get the knight into e5. Looks like a good outpost. Or I could go here, attack right away on this. And then he can defend it. And I'm not sure what the follow-up would be. Also have this check. Oh yeah, this is... No, it's not a fork because he's covering that. Okay, let's just try this. Let's try to get the trade. Oh, he goes all the way back. Okay. We're not going to get that trade that we wanted. Probably will go here to attack the pawn anyway. That still doesn't quite do anything. Maybe it could get a trade though. Or he just moves. And I'm not covering this anymore. Let's probably just move the king. They can just move the king up. The rook is kind of trapped back here. I can put my rook over here or something. Also, can I use my knight? Maybe knight here and then here. Don't want to do this because then he can open up the rook attacking this. Okay, let's just move the king up and connect the rooks for now, I think. Because this, if he trades, it doubles my pawns. I'm not really a big fan of it. Although it does give me... No, because he can take that pawn. So he can win a pawn if we do that. So yeah, let's just move the king up for now. His rook does come over to there. Bishop is guarded. The knight can't really move though. Then he wins the pawn. Let's probably move our rook here. Just plan to keep the knight here guarding the bishop. Can't double attacker. He could get me to trade my bishop off, actually. Let's do that. Or he could go here. Then actually I would be in trouble. So let's move the rook to guard the pawn so that I'm free to move afterwards. Be free to move the bishop. Yeah, we can trade, but I don't think I want to. I think I want to just drop back. Keep the pawn guarded here, and this pawn is now guarded as well. Still are keeping his bishops very inactive back here in this rook. We gotta just maybe swing our other rook over. If we can get both rooks on this side and attack over here, or try to get my pawns across the board, that could be pretty good, and these pieces can't do too much. So maybe even lift this rook up, double them up, and then just start pushing this pawn. Could also push this. To think about what's going on over here. 3 pawns. That probably doesn't do anything. I think the threat here would be him playing for the center. Nope. Let's lock it up. If I play this, I push here, here. Where does his knight go? Go here, go here. Actually, I kind of like the look of this. Maybe let him do this. Not sure how threatening it is exactly, but I kind of like the look of push, and then push again, and then his knight can't really go anywhere. It can go back, but oh, we're good. Or I just go ahead and lift the rook up, then bring the other. If I go here, pushes, does that help lock it up more over here? Not sure. Actually, I'm getting low on time, so let's go ahead and just play something. Let's play the pawn idea I was going for. As long as I don't get insanely low on time, if I just play decent moves at a reasonable speed, we should be okay. Okay, if he takes, I take back. If he pushes, just go over, and then everything is like kind of locked up. I take, he takes, I take, he takes. Yeah, I don't really like taking, it opens this up more, so I think just staying and letting him do that is fine. If he pushes, I can also just take, actually. Oh wait, no. Yeah, no, I can, because the rook can't take. King is covering it. So let's go. Get him to go back. I could push again, then he would probably just jump back. It's probably just Probably just lift the rook up. We'll also go here, threatening to take that. Take, take. And then we could get a rook trade. Actually, I kind of like that. And then we have a nice passed pawn, and we could start trading stuff off. Okay, let's just try that. Take back. We can try to get our pawn protected. Let's probably just go ahead and trade. Here, here. Do I want to do that? No, let's just trade here. And probably go here. Could check, but I don't know if that did anything because I think he would just come here and attack the pawn. Okay, he's going to defend that. Let's just take, I think. Could take here. Yeah, let's just take. I think just trading stuff off seems appealing. And also go check. We can go here. Oh, can't quite win the bishop there. But it does force his king further away from my pawns. No, it doesn't, because once he takes, he's in the same spot. Let's just trade. And then let's, I think, push the pawn. Go here. No, but then the bishop's not defended. Let's just defend the pawn with the rook immediately. The king attacks this pawn. I'll bring my king up. Okay, and then I'm going to push this pawn to try to protect, I think. I do have to be careful about his king coming over. Here. Let's actually open this up. Because I would like to get my bishop here. And if we can get rid of this pawn, I can put my bishop here to help guard this pawn once I push it. Okay, so let's go here. Play quickly. And guard the bishop like this. But I'm worried about his king being able to double attack my pawn and then I would lose it. Okay, I can push this. If he goes here, we would trade. Yeah, that could be an issue. So push this pawn. Okay, let's just push it first. What's the trade? I'm gonna come here. If he does trade, it will get me closer to these pawns, so maybe I can go and attack those while he focuses on getting this one. He still has to bring his king over to attack. And then he'll be forced to take with the rook, so I'll be able to get the rook trade. Okay, let's go. Yeah, let's go here. I'll take this one first. Okay, now we're in a winning position. And let's, how do I want to do this? Let's just go down first. take this one, and then we'll try to protect this pawn and push it. He can take this one, and we have this one as a distraction as well. So I think, yeah, we got ourselves into a pretty nice winning endgame here. Primarily by forcing the rook trade with this pawn. Oh, and he abandons right away, or not abandons, but resigns. I thought maybe he would still try, but no, I think he realized there's no chance. So we're up to a new high rating of 12-16, and let's check the game review. I was missing a lot of stuff early that game, like I kept not even realizing when certain things were like covered defending by certain pieces. But I took my time and it seemed to pay off and give us a good winning in-game position. Accuracy was 88.2%, and my game rating was pretty good. It was 1950. His was 1650, and he had one blunder. I'm curious what the blunder was. Let's go through from the beginning though and see. And also the graph was a really good graph of the eval. That's what you want to see, is just that steady rise. No big spikes or anything. No major blunders or mistakes. Just a steady, gradual rise. So that's the best type of graph to see. So yeah, this was all pretty normal. This was best to defend the pawn. And then, okay, it liked him going back, but it seemed weird though. So it wanted him to go here first, which I was thinking he might go for. And if he went there, and then went here, so let's say I go here, there's this is what I was wondering about, if this is a threat. Oh no, because then I have this check. And then the king has to go over. Or, I guess it doesn't have to, he could block like that, right? No, but then when I take, I think that just is a trade, but it's kind of messy for him. So it wants him to go over. Then I go here, so then I get out of harm's way and create this battery. Okay, well, yeah, I was a little worried about that, just because he would have removed my escape score to defend here. So I would have probably been forced to take, and then we open up his rook. But apparently I could have gone for the check, and that was a better option. But that was the only thing I was worried about. And then here was his blunder. Okay, so it actually counted that as a blunder because he gave up the pawn. Yeah, this was a pretty big mistake. And then I mistakenly thought I could win the knight here, not seeing that the queen is on the diagonal, is covering the knight. I mean, I saw it, but like it took me a while to actually notice that. So it preferred just going for the bishop check right away. Bishop check, yeah, that seems pretty strong. The knight blocks. What if he blocks with the bishop? Is that better? We're still always potentially threatening, well, we're not quite threatening the knight. But it says I have a 3.3 advantage, so it seems pretty good. Let's just click C follow-up and see what it shows. Okay, it's not showing very many moves, but... So instead, we give the check, he blocks with the knight. It preferred blocking with the bishop. I bring the knight into here, but it says this was inaccurate. It actually wanted me to go to G5. We just, oh, I went to the wrong spot. I think we were right about here. So I clicked on the start. So let me see what happens if I go to G5. Let me click show follow-up. There. I win another pawn, but that was a lot of confusing moves, so I'm not sure exactly how that worked. But yeah, it wanted me to go to G5 instead. E5 was inaccurate, but he then played an inaccuracy. It wanted him to go here. Oh yeah, because I did block the bishop from covering that square actually. But then instead he tried to kick it with the pawn here. And then I had a tactic because if I take and he takes with the queen, then I take the knight. And if he takes with the bishop, which he did, then I take the pawn. So all his pieces were totally like tied down, defending each other. And we were able to win some material. So now we're up 2 pawns. And even though we're only up 2 pawns, we have a 4.0 advantage on the eval. Because we just have such a strong position and his pieces are not very good. And then we get the queen trade, so now it's going to be even harder for him to come back. He tries to create some threats on my bishop with the pawns. Okay, this was best. Yeah, I like this move. It really forced his knight to be kind of bad. And then it allowed us to get a pawn really far across the board as well. That was best to push that 2 times in a row. Both moves were best. Attack that. I didn't like him defending this with the bishop. It actually prefers this, but doesn't that give up his pawn? No, because then he takes my pawn if I take. So it wants me to go take, but then I do win the pawn at the end of this, right? Take, I get the pawn. So now we're up +3. So yeah, either way, that was pretty good for us. I wanted bishop back first, but then I lose my pawn, don't I? On this move. Bishop back. He takes. Do I have a... Oh, then I just go for the trade, but I'm only at +1 now. Materially, although it still says +4 on the eval. Take. I guess I don't win a pawn back, but it just likes this position. But instead, I saw that he was going to use the knight on one of these squares to double attack the bishop. The bishop would be forced to go back because I don't have another way to defend it. And then he would be able to take the pawn. So I thought it made the most sense to just defend the pawn with the rook, and then I would be free once he attacked with the knight to drop my bishop back. So that's what I went for, and it did say it was excellent. So for some reason it prefers the bishop back and give up the pawn, but my move was still good. Then we draw back. It's been liking all these pawn push moves that I'm playing. Yeah, every single time. I pushed this one twice, it was best. I pushed this one twice, it was best. Knight goes back again. Okay, and then I pushed the wrong one here. It wanted this. But this is kind of what I was hoping for, that he would take, and then we would be able to get this rook trade. So that worked out pretty well. But what did it prefer? Because it prefers him just taking over here. It takes. Okay, so it didn't really, nothing really happened there. Nothing crazy. Yeah, you get the trade. Okay, so yeah, I was curious about this because this was kind of risky. I almost misplayed this, I think. If I had played something that would have given up the pawn earlier, and then I was only to +1, I would be winning because of this pass pawn, I think. But it would have been a little harder to convert it if I lost this one. So I was kind of scared of this idea, which it says is best. Oh yeah, because that is a check. Actually, I don't even know if I noticed that was a check. Oh, it's a check, and it wants him to go back this way. What if he goes here? Is that a bad move? Yeah, that's a mistake. Because then I come here. This is covered. Oh yeah, take, and then I'm basically threatening a mate in like a couple moves, I think. In fact, my advantage went up to +16 from that, so that's pretty nice. Because I wanted to force his king away from the pawn. That was my objective. So any way to force the king away from the pawn, because then he can't win the pawn with just the rook. But if the king and the rook are together, he can win it. So yeah, that check actually works pretty well for that. Instead, I brought the knight over to try to get some more trades here, which we got. It wasn't a big fan of the bishop trade, though. It did give his king a lot of activity, but we still have a +4.4 advantage. We cover the pawn with the rook, and then this was excellent to trade here. It did want me to push this pawn. I was a little worried about pushing this pawn because it would be hard to defend because it's on this dark square. So that's what I was looking at here. I was thinking that if I push the pawn, I get here, then the pawn on b6 is protected, but if he's able to get his king down this way, or up this way, he might be threatening to win this pawn, and I can't defend it with my bishop because it's on a dark square. And it's the defender of the b6 pawn. So that's the reason why I didn't immediately push the pawn, but the engine does seem to like it though. So let me just see what would have happened. So if he tried to attack this one, I push here. But then if he tries to, like, come around here... Oh, never mind, because if he comes down there, he can't come down this way, it's cut off. And if he comes up, he cuts off his support, or his attack on my pawn, so it allows me to actually play here. And then he comes up. Now we have a 7.3 advantage. Okay. So it seems like a lot of the things I was kind of worried about and was playing safe against were actually not even threats if I handled them properly, but it still worked out pretty well with what we did. We took on this side over here. Oh, I didn't like this bishop move though. I felt like this was a good idea because it's preparing me to push to b7 and have two defenders just hovering on the pawn. But it doesn't like it. It wants me to capture the pawn again. Wait, let me see real quick if this move was bad in and of itself, or if it's just that it was much better to take the pawn first. So if I go take, and then I go here, is it still bad? Yeah, it's still bad actually. I still have the 4.5 advantage, so it wasn't a huge deal. But it was 5.5 before I played that. Entirely sure why it's bad. It seems like it cuts off a lot of squares here that the king can't come to and prepares b7. So I'm not sure. I can't quite figure out why it's bad actually. Okay, it wanted me to trade. But I thought getting him to trade was better because then my king gets more active. And then by the time he comes over here to win the pawn, my king is just going to be able to eat up all his pawns. And that's what happened. And it still says excellent to do what I did here. So yeah, worked out pretty well. He takes. That was inaccurate. Did not want him to take because now completely losing position for him. No matter which pawn he goes for here, like he could take this, and then I can already just promote this one. But if he didn't take, and he tried to like come up here and cover this promotion, then obviously we just push the other one or the middle one. So yeah, it was unstoppable. Even with just, I think even with just this one pawn, it's already totally winning. Because he's not able to, I'm able to shoulder him, I think it's called. If he goes up, I can shoulder him all the way up and then walk the pawn up. So even without these two pawns, I would have won, I believe. Okay, so yeah, that was a good game. And we had a nice in-game position that I think we converted pretty well there. And now we're up to a new all-time high of 12-16, so I'm pretty happy with that. And this has been day 72. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on day 73.